So good morning, welcome back to the Rural Project. So we're here again. This is Sunday. I was here yesterday, didn't do much videoing because it was just a day of getting on with jobs, but let's give you a quick recap of what we've been doing and what we're getting on with today. So as I've mentioned, we have got a tiny container house coming in here. So I've been preparing all of this, done a little bit of simple grading here, just knocking some of the bumps off, make it a little bit flatter. Done a little bit of work here on where we're going to put a retaining wall. So there used to be one there. I don't know, as part of the fire damage or whatever, it's gone. So as you can see, we'll get some formwork in there and get some concrete in, and then we shall sort of continue that bluestone wall, dropping down and along and tying into the bluestone wall there. So that'll look pretty neat, and it'll help to sort of finish all of that off. So the thing we've been doing in this lower area is doing a fair bit of tidy up. So I need to trench for the grey water from about there all the way across, and we'll have a pipe sticking out the ground there, which we'll connect into from the container house. To do that needs a fair bit of work. So I need to be trenching from about somewhere near the white pipe all the way across here. A lot of the blocks and the brickwork here, all the block paving, has all sort of gone higgledy-piggledy over time, and it's been driven over by bits of plant which have moved it around, and also some of it, you know, is just not has not been the best. It's needed a little bit of repair. So I got into that thought process of, right, what do I do? Do I repair all this or not? So the plan, as you can see here, is to terminate the block paving associated with all of the pool and the steps. Terminate that here. We'll get a straight line going across, trenching through here. Our barbecue will come down, as you've just seen in the intro, and then I'm working out what to do with this block paving here, whether to just simply remove it or whether to create a, you know, kind of box this off a little bit just in front of the steps. I'll work that out today. Then the block paving on the at the bottom of these stairs, we removed all that yesterday. That is all sat in that trailer ready to go to tip today. And yeah, a little bit of smoothing out and tidying up and leveling in this area to do, and then this will be sort of pretty complete. So I've got to get my head around what I'm doing here. I'm going to, because it's early in the morning, I don't want to be making any noise. I'm going to actually just make a start and concrete in these bricks, which are going to make up sort of this edge. I'll start concreting those in, and then when it gets a little bit later in the day, it's only about sort of 7:30 now, when it gets a little bit later, get the excavator going, get the trench done, pull down the barbecue, and right, let's go. We have got the concrete all around the edge now, so that will hold those bricks in place and stop them moving. A little bit extra around the corners, which is usually a spot where it moves, and yeah, it's looking good. So what I've got now, I have a few bags of sand and cement, and I'll actually just sprinkle that in between all the gaps. But I think what I might do is I might just let this go off a little bit first, go do another job, and then come back and do that after, because I'd hate to start upsetting it before it's had a chance to cure. Right, what to do next? What to do? So I think the next thing I'm going to do, I'll have a little thunk and work out what I'm going to do in this spot, because if I'm going to do a similar thing, sort of, you know, round that off and just leave a patch at the top of those steps, I need to get on with that before I take this down. Likewise, if I'm removing it all, I can tackle that a little bit differently. Right, I've had a big think, I've had a thunk, and I'm simply going to continue from the top of the step, just continue out about 1 metre and a bit, and across, and then square it back off. No fancy curves, no nothing, just a square pad at the top, and everything else can go. So that means all this lot can go, all of that, and that whole mess there can all disappear. So the plan will be to sort of break out the bricks in a bit of a line up there and across and back down. Once I've done that, then sort of it's easy to come in with the excavator and just drag all those bricks out of the way. Don't want to do that while they're all still connected, otherwise you'll end up with the area you want to keep absolutely trashed. Ask me how I know. Anyway, let's get on with that. Well, it had to happen. Just got to this corner, and hopefully you can see all the ants, and those ants are everywhere, all over here now. As soon as I lifted up that last brick, they just swarmed out absolutely everywhere, so no doubt I'll be getting bitten today. I got bit with a bull ant a couple of weeks ago, which was pretty painful. These are not bull ants. Hey, it's Australia, they're most probably deadly. One bite, I'll be absolutely paralysed. Right, I think while they're sorting themselves out, I think I'll get the excavator and just start pulling all this stuff away. Now, just there, underneath that pile, and around about there are a couple of sort of posts, I think, sunk into the ground. So it'll be interesting to see what they're like, whether they're deep concrete foundations for what might have been in the past a porch or something like that. Maybe some sort of decking. Right, let's get the excavator fired up, hope it fires up, and let's get this stuff pulled out of the way. So yeah, let's smash it to the ground. would have thought there'd have been a block of concrete like that? Holy dooly. So yeah, so that's what the steel straps were connected to. So I'm assuming then the next one over there has got the same sort of thing, big slab of concrete underneath. But anyway, the rest of this is coming up pretty easy. What we'll do now, we'll get into this little barbecue. Right, that is one barbecue knocked down. Awesome. Quite a bit of tidy up to do though. As you saw, there were a few slabs that came out. There was one there, there's one buried in the middle there. They all need to get into the trailer and get off to the tip, which doesn't sound like it, but it's actually quite a bit of work loading up the trailer. So what I'm going to do now, before I make a start on something else, I'm going to get to that patch there, just on the other side, the bit that I'm keeping, and we'll pull all that out the way, and then basically we've got everything removed that we need to remove, and then I'll make a start and decide what next, whether I head off to the tip and get rid of the trailer load and then start loading this back up again, or whether I actually start doing the trenching. Well, we found not one but two barrels buried in. That was they were the piles, the foundations. My God, they were not going to go anywhere, eh? That's a bit crazy, but I think I'm going to stop digging because I have no idea how many others I'm going to find. And they are really going to fill up the trailer, loading them in. Crikey. It's pretty pricey taking a tipper load of rubble to the tip, but look, it's got to be done. But holy cow, that's crazy. Right, let's get to the tip now. We'll go take that trailer load, get it to the tip, bring that trailer back down here, and I'll work out what to do after that. I'm just loading these barrels of concrete and bricks into the trailer, so I managed to get the first one in, and then the second one slipped off the bucket, and do not ask me how the heck it ended up there, but it did, and there's not a lot I can do about it at the moment, so I'm just going to try and get a crowbar in, see if I can just pop it out. Oh man, the trouble I get myself into sometimes. Or the alternative is I'll bring the bucket down to about here, put a chain on it and use a bucket to pop it out. But I'm hoping a crowbar will work. Right, let's see how we go. Oh my goodness. I'm getting a little bit tight for space and everything in here right now. That's the issue. I thought, right, I'll load a few big chunks of concrete into the trailer and get them out of the way. Right, let's see how I can get out of this little mess. Too lazy to go walk and grab the chain, so we'll see if a rope will do it. I doubt it, but let's give it a try. Well, don't know where the chain is, but I managed to find a couple of straps, so we'll try this with a strap. That's lucky. That is right up against the trailer wheel as it rolled off there, which I was trying to avoid. That's why I was pulling it from one side, hoping to flick it away from the trailer. You can't control these things. Right, let's have another go with a bucket of taking this off and away from the trailer and getting it in there. Oh, I'm nervous. I think I'm going to puncture the tyre. That is what it looks like. As you can see, a bit of a brick sticking out the side, sort of pushing hard onto the tyre there. I'm going to see if I can get a crowbar, roll it out of the way enough to actually put a steel plate in there. Just so if it rolls back it doesn't puncture the tyre. Let's give that a try. Right, we've got that plate in. Now we've got to do a little gentle manoeuvre and try and pull this out of the way. Man, it's not easy moving these big heavy lumps around. It's easy with a bucket of soil, but geez, something as big and heavy as that, not easy at all. So now it's on there, what the heck am I going to do with it? I think I really need to move that one around a little bit, create a bit of space. Might even drop the tailgate down actually, so that I can come in from that side and drop it in. Well, we got the trailer loaded, but I thought I may have punctured the tyre, and I was like, nah, it's fine. Well, there is a leak in here somewhere. It's actually on the rim, but what a bugger. Right, got to pump out. Going to get this pumped up and then rush off to tip as quick as I can. I'll bring you guys back when I'm finished. That is one serious load of concrete. So all we've got left now are the bricks. There's a couple of little pieces of concrete, one there, another one at the back, but that's about it. So I had to laugh when I got to the tip. The guy who you're paying money to looked at all the concrete in the back and said, "Geez, how are you getting all that out?" I said to him, "Don't worry mate, it's a tipper trailer." And they pointed to a sign on the wall that said "No tipping," and he started laughing. I said to him, "Listen mate, I think you need to turn a blind eye. So while I go over there and tip this out, just look elsewhere for me, will you please?" And he did. Awesome. And this is a few days later. I managed to get back after work just before the tip closes and get another load dumped. Now, if I was a smart man, I should have thought about this. I could have actually just put all this brickwork on the land and stored it, and then instead of spending hundreds of dollars on the tip, I could have hired a brick and rubble crusher. This stuff would have been perfect for my access road. But as it is, I've now paid to take stuff to the tip, and then when I come to fix my access road, I'll now go and pay somebody to supply broken bricks or rocks. Dope. So if it comes straight off the truck, the back of the container will be there, which is pretty close to the driveway. Whereas if we can shuffle it along, that's 4 meters. We can shuffle it along 4 meters. The back will be there, which I think is nicer. It's tucked away. It can work there, but I think it would be better if we could push it into here. And while we flick through a few photographs here, let me tell you about the mad rush that was getting ready for the tiny house coming. So as you'll see in these pictures, we carried on tidying up. I think I did about 6 or 8 trips to the tip with all the waste. We got the concrete wall in there, or the foundation in for the wall, and started doing a bit of block work. We did dig the trench all the way across and got all the pipework connected through to the septic system. I think we're ready. Only time will tell. The tiny house is coming in just a few days.